Dustin, welcome to One Life Club. So good to have you here, buddy, and so good to have you as a member of One Life Club as well. And you are interesting one because there's not many people that do work-wise what you do.
Yeah.
So tell us, who is Dustin?
So Dustin is a kid who grew up in the country town, I guess, of Mildura, Victoria. I sort of played footy all my young life and then left school when I was 16, went into a trade like everyone does. So I started off as a tradie and got qualified by 20 and thought that was it. But, one day I was looking around the workshop and I was like, surely this can't be it. You'd see guys that were like 60 plus years old with their back breaking from carrying cupboards around and things like that. And I've always been interested in sales and always been good at talking to people, and connecting with people. So I said I was in the wrong industry. So I eventually moved.
Which is interesting because a lot of individuals, when they get a trade, they finish the trade, then they think to themselves, well, I'll already spent a couple of years getting my apprenticeship or whatever it is they were getting, or uni degree, and so I'm not gonna get that to waste. So they would think, I don't want to waste 3 years that I just spent getting this apprenticeship or this uni degree, but I'm happy to waste another fucking 40 years doing shit that I'm not gonna like. You know what I mean? They don't fucking calculate what's ahead. It's just what's behind. And it's good that you had that courage to actually step out of the comfort zone and do something else. Because let's face it, 16 to 20, when you were learning the trade, you will also those crucial age when you're developing, your skills and yourself as a human. And a lot of people that start in those trades, you are right, they end up doing it till they're 60.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I think I took I would have taken a month off after that just to relax and have a think about where I wanted to go, like where I wanted to do. So I think I moved to Darwin and I think I was working at I was working as a tradie up there. But then it was hot as hell because I had my trade and I was playing football up there because I used to play footy, like semi-professional football.
When you say football, you're talking about AFL or you're talking about rugby union?
AFL, because AFL, yeah.
The girly football, you mean?
Well,
I'm a good mate with Jason Archimedes, and I always give him shit. Why didn't you pick the real football by knocking each other out, And he said, Emil, this is a gentleman's football. I said, I agree.
Well, Jason Archimedes, he grew up in Mildura, so my same country town. He played for the same football club that I played for at South Mildura. So
I play golf with Jason.
Oh, do you? So he's
Yes.
up. Yeah, right.
I play golf with him, and he's extremely good golfer.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I don't know if he's good golfer like he was a good AFL player, but in his prime, and I know Jason, we've been mates for almost 20 years.
Yeah, right. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. And now he's in real estate.
Yeah, right. Can he still stick a handstand?
Yeah, literally. Our only difference is he doesn't have that blonde hair like he used to do.
Probably wouldn't recognize him if we walked past him.
You know what? You actually would, to be honest. He's still got that, Jason face as well, but he's a good guy. He's a champion of a guy as well. And he had obviously very big career playing footy. And so he's definitely respected and loved in Brisbane when it comes to population here. So how the hell did you get from a trade, getting your ass freaking burned in Darwin, to business that you're in now, True Blue Border?
Yeah. So after I sort of finished up in Darwin, I did I sort of went back home to Mildura. My parents have a real estate company. So I decided that I'd get my real estate license. So I went into the company as an agent rep, real estate license agent, and I realized that I was competing against, because we were a family-owned company, so I was competing against the Ray Whites, the Barry Plants, and all that. And I realized that usually because they've got such a big brand, you have to work extra hard to get the listings. So I sort of
anybody's beatable.
Yeah, that's right. But I feel like I had to work extra hard. So you had to get your sales
Of
skills
course. Of
on
course.
point. Yeah, so I got into that and yeah, I was going pretty well, doing quite a few deals. And so I got a knack for sort of sales and then
Yes.
I
And real estate is probably one of the hardest things to sell because you have to sell something twice. First of all, you have to sell yourself to a
yeah,
seller so that you can win the business, and
yeah.
then you have to sell the fucking house or whatever property they're giving you. So first you have to go and sell the shit out of yourself, and you're competing against 5 other agents, and then you got a product to sell once they give you green light.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So if you can master that, and every time I get car salespeople that come and work for one of my real estate offices, I always tell them, man, different game, because when you're selling cars, you already have product to sell.
Mm.
In real estate, you got to hunt for product so you can sell it tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, they buy you before they buy you stuff.
Correct. That's probably done really well for the business that you're in now, because it doesn't matter what kind of water you're selling, people still gotta sit and communicate with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so then obviously with being in real estate for a few years, my dad also had a water brokerage company in the business as well. And I was starting to get an idea and I didn't do much with it. I just seen it over there and I was like, oh, I don't really know much about it. And then things started to really pick up in the business. Dad's like, "Oh, well, can you help on this side of the business?" I said, "Yeah." And then I realized that, there was quite a bit of turnover and things like that within people trading their water rights permanently, things like that. And I could see a real, I don't know, sort of like future in it. And I started to see gaps where, he probably didn't have the systems in place and things like that. So I started to get an understanding of how to run a business, what water brokering is, and then sort of see all the other companies, and then I had all these ideas. My dad's really old school. I hope he
I
watches this.
love that.
So I couldn't get him around to. I said we need to go more online. We need to build a platform, things like that. And then Dad sort of said no. People come into the office, they sign the paperwork, and they walk out. So okay, but that's your only like you can't broaden your client base doing that. He said, well, if you want to go if you want to do what you want to do, you go start your own thing. And I said, all right, don't have to tell me twice. So yeah, so I sort of planned to I wanted to get out of Mildura, sort of just a smaller town, and just yeah, get out into a bigger city, I guess. So I moved up to Adelaide. I literally started. I created a company. Started True Blue Water Exchange from my bedroom. So and then I was just on the phones calling farms, seeing what they're doing, introduce myself, and I realized that like it wasn't going to be easy. So
Welcome to the business fucking world.
yeah, so a lot of who the I'm allowed to swear on here. I can't.
Buddy, I'm fucking swearing. We can do what at One Life Club, we run the fucking show, buddy. You can just be you, man.
Who the F are you? Blah blah blah. So, yeah. So I just kept grinding away, and then I ended up coming across another water broker that was getting out of the game. So, sort of a little bit of luck. I sort of end up getting sort of buying his contact list on like on a 3-year lease period sort of thing. So pay it off over time. So, it was a pretty big outlay at me at the time. I didn't have a heap of money back then. So, but I knew that I needed that to make it work and get some clients behind me where I know exactly what they're doing. I ended up putting on like one of my mates. I put on, and we're both calling from our lounge room in the house for a while, and then yeah, eventually like started to build up like a good client base, started to get the ball rolling a bit, moved into an office in Glenelg, in South Australia. And then yeah, just built it from there. We moved into another office 2 years ago, employed a few more people. Yeah, started to try to train them up and get a bit of get a bit of an understanding of how this business works, and just like always changing, always pivoting where we need. That was probably the main thing what we wanted to do. So yeah, sort of right, yeah.
And now, from start to where it is now, you guys got a team of people that are working with you.
Yeah, so we got three brokers on, and then got a marketing lady and a admin lady at the moment. So,
So looking back now, what
mm,
would you say has been the hardest thing about running your business?
there's been a lot of lessons, that's for sure. Like, I guess, there's been, yeah, a few lessons, like, understanding that sometimes, people sort of do you wrong sort of thing. There's been a few people that walk away from a deal and leave you in the lurch, and then the price drops, and then you have to deal with that. And, even one time I actually, in my first year of business, I lost this deal. And it was a client that I knew he had a really good reputation. I ended up putting 20 grand down that he would have lost to make sure that my reputation stays clean, because that's how I wanted to run things. I knew that.
And
Yeah.
that's the part that you got from your father. So as much as you're advanced and as much as you are all focused online and everything else that you're doing, but I think one thing that we learned from our parents is that old school, keeping a good name out there, and if you say something to somebody, you honor your word. That's what comes from our parents, being old school as well. Because back in the day, they would do everything on a handshake. Now you need a fucking contract thicker
Mm.
than a Bible to do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, absolutely. So like that was a big lesson. I probably made 20 grand that year. That was my first year in
Hmm.
business. So,
Hey,
um,
making any money in the first 12 months in any business, I call that successful. Breaking even is success in the first 12 months. But the interesting thing is, all of us, when we are starting something, specifically when you're young, when you're starting your first business, your expectation is so fucking high, enthusiasm,
mm,
motivation, and then you start and then you hit the reality. It was like, what the fuck? Why nobody's buying whatever the fuck I'm selling? You know what I mean? And I got all these bills that I commit myself to, and I can't sell a fucking $2 of whatever. Then reality hits. And then reality hits that, you might only make 20 grand a year or nothing.
yeah, no, for sure.
And
So,
key is surviving that first year to get into keep
yeah.
going.
Yeah, and I think like the next year was, we started to get some real momentum. Like I was signing up to business mentorship, so I could, work out how we could actually leverage and grow this business, like through systems and processes, and got a new CRM system, and build a new website and things like that. So I think like every year I've continually to put money back into the business to make sure that it's growing at a level to keep up with my competitors and things like that. Like this year's
Well,
been,
if you're not growing, you're dying.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. And like because I'm younger, like most of
And
the,
how old are you now, by the way?
33.
33.
Yeah. Yeah. But
No
like,
wife, no kids.
no, I've got a partner, but, yeah, no kids.
Oh, soon you will.
I
Till
better
then,
hurry.
work your fucking heart out, okay? When you have kids, I think your life might change a little bit as well. Because all my mates that have kids, they're all fucking working like a crazy 7-Eleven, till they have the kids. When the kids come, obviously the priorities are different as well. But I also do believe that there's probably extra motivation to
Oh,
to be more organized, I guess, in life as well. What's next 5 years looking for you?
next 5 years. Yeah, so pretty exciting stuff happened at the moment. We're about a couple of months away to launching a brand new water trading platform. So that's pretty exciting. And also I've actually this is the best thing about One Life Club. Like I connected with one of the accountants there, Michael Jeffries.
Love him. Love
Yeah.
him. I have connected him to so many. That's the one thing, man. I always say, I'll tell you something that is so interesting in life. You can meet one person, or somebody can tell you something that can change direction of your life for better or for worse if you meet fuckwits.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because one person can give you, and that's always say David Rose, who's actually one of our members. He's changed everything that I'm doing for better. And I met him about 7 years ago. And so it's interesting. And that makes me happy that that members are actually meeting.
Yeah. So yeah, he's actually taken over he's my accountant now. So
Well, to be honest, he's you know that's not the first case that people are. Put it this way: I got people doing solo in my house that have one. I'm building a massive home, and I got people that are doing solo in my house, the cabinetry, all One Life Club members. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And which is so good as well that, it makes me always happy that everybody's supporting each other as well, which is which is awesome. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I
Yeah,
look forward to the next 5 years, man. And I always say, when you do launch it, make sure you tell the entire community so we can celebrate and see if we can all do our little part to make it better. Make your launch grow faster.
yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, so like obviously, yeah, that's coming up, and yeah, we've got another little side project that Michael Jeffries is actually involved in as well. We're starting up some like a fund, an investment fund, which will be able to get people involved in, investing into water through a fund. So
Awesome.
on the down low, sort of, but yeah, it's probably going to be launched in the next couple of months. So yeah, so we'll go straight into that, and
So
yeah,
by the sounds of it, next 40 years, you're gonna be fucking locked into this crazy entrepreneur life.
yeah, I think so. I think like I already feel like I already feel like I am, and I feel like that I've gone through sort of all the shit, and now I'm sort of coming out the back end of it, and I feel like I've got sort of weight behind me, not in front of me. So I'm just continually moving forward, and I'm always thinking, I'm always thinking about the next move, sort of thing. So and it looks like it does looks bright. Like I'm 33, but I feel like I've still got plenty of time to really build this thing, and then everything else that comes with it. So I'm very
I look forward to watching your journey, and I look forward to meeting you in person again on the
yeah,
18th of April.
yeah, in the Gold Coast.
Legend, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, Mil.
Thank you, buddy. Bye.